Well, this is a video for Aubrey and Abigail, or Abigail and Aubrey. This is your great grandmother, and her name is Roberta G. Montgomery, G for Gowan. And she obviously was my mother, and she was your father's grandmother. Now realize you've never met her, and that's too bad. Wonderful human being, kind, generous, and as you can tell, beautiful smile. But I think it's important for you to know why you never met your great-grandmother. It's because your father wouldn't let you meet her. Yeah, that's what I said. Your father, Charlie, would not let you spend time with your great-grandmother. Your great-grandmother knew about you, saw pictures of you, wanted to spend time with you, but your father and your mother wouldn't let you visit your great-grandmother. She would have killed to have met you two. And she was such a kind person that she never complained. She loved your father, don't get me wrong. She actually met him till he was about age 9 when your grandmother, Dinges, D-I-N-G-E-S, decided that my mother, your great-grandmother, and your father's grandmother was not allowed to see Charlie. Was not, and so your father is very much like your mother. And I'm sorry if it comes across as disrespectful, but your father is the kind of guy who doesn't understand that family matters. Your father sort of is like your grandmother. Your grandmother wouldn't let my mother see Charlie because she was an angry human being. And your father, Charlie, would not let you see your great-grandmother. And of course, he won't let you see me. So I tell you this not to give you a bad taste in the mouth about your father, but to make it clear to you that, in fact, it's nothing you did. You didn't make a decision that forced you to fail to see your great-grandmother or your grandfather, me. I think it's important for you to remember this because as you get older and life goes on, that you don't make the same rotten, terrible mistakes that your grandmother Dinges made and your father made. I mean, they're just terrible things. There's no reason at all for grandmother Dinges or your father, Charlie, to have done what they are doing or have done. It's just cruel. So don't be cruel. Be kind to people. Treat them like you'd like to be treated. Now, this video is the only way you're ever going to know that your father kept you from seeing your great-grandmother, kept you from seeing me, your grandfather, and the only way you'll ever know that your grandmother Dinges kept Charlie, your father, from spending time with his grandmother. That's just the way it is. I'd like to be able to have a rosier picture, paint a rosier picture, go, oh, no, it wasn't like that, blah, 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 blah. No, that's exactly the way it was. And like I said, your mother and your father will never, ever tell you the truth. Because, frankly, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to tell you the truth that the two of them, your mother and father, kept you from knowing your grandfather, me, and your great-grandmother, who's now dead. She died last year. And this video is being done in May of 2022. Now, this is a picture of your father. Now, I think he was like 8 or 9 at the time. And shortly after this picture was taken, he was with me. And there's your dad. We were together in Tacoma, Washington, visiting your grandmother and your grandfather. Grandfather died a number of years ago. Your great-grandfather. And your mother, when she found out about this, your grandmother Dinges, when she found out about this picture, she was pissed. And I never got to take Charlie back to see any of his grandparents ever again. And here's Charlie and I. Oh, God, this was 7 or 8 years ago. And we used to be pretty good friends. But then I'm not going to mince words. There's no reason to. He met your mother. and your mother doesn't like anybody who isn't part of her family. So it wasn't that your father and I didn't have a good relationship. We did. We had a great relationship. Now, this is a picture I got not because your grandmother Jen just gave it to me. I just somehow was able to find it. But your father played football, and look at all that hair. So when you think of not having a relationship with your great-grandmother or Charlie's grandmother, don't blame me, don't blame her, blame your father and your mother, if blame is necessary. But when you grow older and you have a relationship and hopefully you have kids, that you don't treat people like your parents have treated people. It's wrong. I'm not going to say, oh, they were just confused or it was a rough time. It's wrong. It's simply wrong. And just accept the fact that it's wrong. You may not like the fact that I'm telling you this. Well, that's tough luck. That's just the way the world is. I try not to be mean to people. I try not to be cruel, but I'm not going to mince words. Your father has done some terrible things and has hurt a lot of people. And it's simply, this was before your mother was in the picture. You can tell that me and your father were great friends, but your father has been ruined by your mother. I know everybody loves their mother. I get it. I loved my mother, but don't be your parents. Be kind to people. Treat them with respect. Don't treat them like crap. That's just the way what your father's been doing. And it's not his personality. He's afraid to stand up to your mother. It's just the way it is. And I wish there was a different way of saying it. I wish I could tell you that I could spend time with you, that your mother is a wonderful human being, that she's warm and generous and kind, but I'd just be lying my butt off to you. Now, here's another person you don't get to see. This is my brother, Charlie, and his wife, Barb. There's Barb. There's Charlie. My brother, Charlie, and your father, Charlie, share so many personality traits. But of course, you'll never get to know that because your father and mother won't let you see Charlie. Now, Barbara, wonderful human being, warm, generous, kind, just a great human being. You don't get to meet her either because of your mother and father. Yeah, I sound angry. I should be angry. Why shouldn't I be angry? I've been cut out of your lives. You've been cut out of everybody else's lives because of your mother and father. Don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to anybody. This is your Aunt Peggy, my sister. This is her husband, Gary Sigmund. This is obviously a very old picture. She looks different now. But you don't get to meet her either. You don't get to meet my brother. You don't get to meet me. And why? Because your father and mother won't let us. We've never been invited to a birthday party, a Thanksgiving, a Christmas. Don't do this to other people. If it's the one message I can give you as you grow older, don't do it to other people. There's no way you can justify this behavior. None of these people have ever harmed you, well, if they've never met you. And they've never harmed your mother. They've never harmed your father. And they're treated as if they're bad people. And the people, your mother and father who treated them, are the rotten ones. Okay. Now, I haven't seen you in, 3.5 years? So these videos are a chance for you to have some sort of recollection, separate from what your mother and father have done, what your family could have been like other than the family you've got. Oh, this is my patio. Yeah, I built this house about 2 years ago. God, I was hoping you'd get to spend time with me, but that's never going to happen. Now, I do love you, and I'm sorry if I come across as angry. I'm not trying to be angry, but I'm trying to be honest with you. You can't treat people badly. You can be honest about people. You can tell them what you think. You can couch it as many ways as you can to make everybody's feelings not be hurt, but sometimes feelings get hurt. That's just the way it is. I'm not doing it because I'm mean. I'm doing it because I'm tired of the way you're being treated, and you're being denied access to the people who would love to know you, and you would love to know them. So it's May 30th, 2022. It's about 75 degrees. My lawn is coming in, and I love you to death. I wish I could get to know you, and I think you'd enjoy knowing me. But this video is the only way I get to do it, so I'll talk to you later. Bye.